Hello. How goes? Don't make me change the thumbnail, guys. Don't make me do it. Hope you guys are doing well. We are playing the random position mod. Randomized start positions today. I just want a quick fun stream where we just play a bit of Kairos, try and do speed run, see if it actually makes things very difficult for us, because usually Kairos is tucked away in the corner, nice and safe. With this mod, not so much. But in my head, it can't be that bad. We also have some fun mods being worked on. The million speed mod is underway, so that one that one should be fun. I'm thinking I'll play Slanesh and all enemies will have maximum speed, so like OG Greasus zoomies, and then we'll see if I can win as Slanesh without being able to well, maybe I can still outmaneuver the AI, but I'm definitely not faster. Quite the world it'll be when we make Slanesh the slowest faction in the game. But yeah, this is the mod, so we just click a button in the top left. Fortunately, I'm blocking it. But after a short moment, it will teleport every single faction in the game into a random position. You can see the elves have already been placed here. Played this as the Empire, and it developed in a fascinating way. Started at the Dragon Isles. Ooh, fighting your way back to the Empire. It's a real challenge starting at 0 Empire security. Yeah, I think some factions that really rely on their positioning, this mod can be quite fun. Now, where did I end up? Yeah, I hate how this blocks my map, bro. Is there a way to get this to, Why is this? Why is it blocking the map? Whatever. I just look at my main screen. Interesting. I ended up all the way north. Alright. And we have Sorrel Encampment. Oh boy. Alright. Very interesting. Well, I guess... Oh man, it's like the one orange territory too. So obviously we gotta dip out of here, right? Interesting. Am I surrounded by enemies? Is the other question. I think we're not going to do any shenanigans where we try to ally with everyone. Suitable climate debuff still count? Like, what do you mean? It definitely counts. It's just right there. Minus replenishment. Everything sucks. I am at war with the Dark Elves. Interesting. As my starting faction. Alright, alright. And then what? It's here. Reveal Shroud. Yeah, that might be helpful. Recruitment cost. -9. We got some armor buffs. Is anything here good, though? Cooldown. -10 to Lores of Zinch and Metal Spells. Honestly, sacking and looting can be really hype. That's 25%. Just a raw 25% buff. What's not to love? Oh boy, that's a lot of armies. I guess I should have expected that. We do have ogres though. We do have some ogre recruitment. So I'm just gonna camp out here and see what we can do. What does this do? Winds of Magic Reserve minus, but we get grimoires. I think I need to be able to fight my way out of this position. I do have an Exalted Flamer and some Chaos Knights. So honestly, I think I can actually beat those guys up. The Colt's in a random position. Very fun. Instantly provides 1 million grimoires. So here, restore an army's movement range. Okay, honestly, this is insane. They're locked behind tech, though. Break the military alliance. Reveal Shroud. Where's the tech on this? Oh, dang, it's right there. Okay, maybe I want to beeline that then. Restoring movement range is insanely good. Okay, so this gives me 1,000,000 grimoires. Honestly, I'm very tempted to just get that. I could also teleport here, but I don't think that really does me much. It just kind of randomizes my start position again. Which I guess is okay, but not amazing. What's this? When, ooh, that's 30 grimoires a turn. So I could have that for, what, 10 turns? 15 turns? And we're already making more than the other option? I guess I might as well. That just seems slightly better, doesn't it? Alright, let's get into this fight. Big bucks for sacking, yeah. You just turtle up and use the cultist to teleport somewhere else. I could. That position's not amazing, though. Like, it gets me into the heart of the Empire, but there's no Empire. I don't like living in the Empire anyways. Honestly, this Kislev region is not bad. Let's see here. I gotta change my, Twitch title. I gotta change the Twitch title because it doesn't explain things properly. One second. Minimized. There we go. Zinch. Alright. So how do I kill this? They didn't attack me, which is a sign of weakness. I think we just go for it. I could attack the settlement too, mind you. So this army's recruiting. Yeah, if I go straight for the settlement, obviously the game doesn't like that, but I can just camp their reinforcement point and we're good. You like watching multiplayer beatdowns with off-meta builds? There'll be much more of that in the times to come, that's for sure. 100%. As now I am trying to reestablish a streaming schedule. It's a little difficult though, I must say. Doing that on top of all the editing stuff that I want to get done, but I'm getting there. So those guys show up in 2 minutes. These guys show up in 2 minutes. We're gonna bully these ones first. Let's see, because if I catch these guys, then these armies will have a hard time actually getting together, right? At least that's the hope. Playing this mod as Zinch feels like a ritual gone wrong, or possibly right. I was thinking that too. Kairos tried to trade settlements around, ended up trading the entire world. Seems like an awfully powerful ritual though. If that happened in lore, that would truly be end times material. Yo, that should be an end game scenario. Maybe I should suggest that to CA. Nah, people wouldn't like that. People wouldn't like that, would they? I think it's only something you would appreciate if you actually turn the mod on. Do you have a favorite faction or top 3 aesthetically? No war wagons on the thumbnail, yeah. I think I like Vampire Coast. I really like Slaanesh. Like, I like the guns, I like the speed, I like the power fantasy of high damage. So let's see here. What do I like other than Coast and Slaanesh? Do you guys have an idea of who I gravitate towards? I'm trying to figure out. Who do I gravitate towards? Are these guys coming to me? No. Very nice. And there they are. This... Man, I'm totally biffing it. I'm trying to figure out... I'm trying to remember. There's definitely a good number of factions. High Elves and Coast. You like High Elves and Coast? Do you have any tips for Tzeentch in multiplayer? I would say for Tzeentch, you want to really rely on Zongors. Always take 2 Furies, but don't always bring them. Furies are not amazing in multiplayer. They're just kind of like a counter unit. And then always take a flamethrower unit of some sort. Usually it's going to be Changebringers. Those are kind of the core units of Tzeentch. The Zongors you'll want to always have, like, yeah, some Zongors in Forsaken. But it's the flamethrower units that really, you know, put the build together, that give you a proper threat. Generally though, Tzeentch is not super strong in multiplayer. They're a little lackluster, but you can definitely still win with them. They can be pretty good, especially against some factions who don't have great answers to Changebringers. You're probably super hyped about the Undead Legions in the End Times DLC. I wish I could be. Is there anything that's like cool about them? What's hype about the Undead Legions? Because they don't really, they're just in my head, in my, you know, with my very little knowledge about Warhammer lore, isn't it just going to be like vampire counts, or it's just going to be a mix of the undead factions? It's not like you can get more DACA than Vampire Coast. That's impossible. Vampire counts finally getting a DLC since Warhammer 1. Is that actually true? Oh my gosh, I think it might be true. Dang, the poor guys. Well, that's unfortunate. But hey, only took them, what were we at? 1 decade? I think Warhammer 1 launched like actually a decade ago, right? Am I off? I might not be. And that's kind of crazy. Watch streak. Oh, Razel. Dang. 35 stream streak. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's like a good, like, probably 2 months, maybe more. What mod are we playing this time? Is it Global 1 HP? It's random start position. It's a nice, just chill mod. I just kind of wanted a quick day today, you know, just have some fun, play some Tzeentch, call it a day. Dang, I'm really spell spamming these poor guys into oblivion, aren't I? Yeah, Warhammer 1 came out in 2016. That is a long time ago. 2016, man. Oh my gosh. That was how young we were back then. Feels like many years ago. For it was. Stop making us feel old, please. That's the whole theme of this channel. Yeah, nah. It's surely I don't know. What do people do to feel young again? What actually is the thing? I personally, you know what? Let's just embrace the elderliness. Honestly, as someone who's been young most of my life, I feel like, you know, I wanted to be old for most of my life. Now that I'm actually here adulting, I find that it's not all chess in the park. I can't just sit around and meme about being old. I actually have responsibilities. Okay, stop making you feel old. Honestly, though, it's great, though. At least heading into my 30s soon. I will not lie. I am actually quite excited. All right, how do I deal with this? Because this is still legendary difficulty, dudes. So their infantry is actually mildly terrifying. Look at this guy. He's just tanking my boys. Exalted Flamer. He's got to chill a little bit. And Kairos needs to not die. Unfortunately, my Chaos Knights are super slow. Fun fact about Tzeentch in multiplayer. You should not... I repeat, you should not go for Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Well, actually, they're okay. Honestly, all the Tzeentch cavalry is kind of the same power level in general. What you should be doing is just accepting that they're gonna suck. Just you're gonna need to bring cavalry anyways. You kind of have to. Just be ready for them to not do as well as you would hope for. That's kind of just the Tzeentch way. But hey, as long as you micro well enough, cavalry is cavalry. This flamethrower guy is just crushing it, by the way. Love to see that. I think just one more flamethrower shot into the pipe is all I really need. We've also managed to keep the Furies alive, too. We killed off one of their lords. Huge. Okay. And then does this guy cause terror? He doesn't. Exalted Flamer doesn't cause terror. I guess that makes sense. Campaign challenge? Yeah, randomized start positions as Tzeentch. Tzeentch can already be a little bit of a tricksy faction, so we're just having a bit of fun. Seeing how this makes things harder or easier. Because who knows, maybe it makes it more chill. Finally, the buff is worn off. Took them long enough. But without that, they should be suffering some big leadership issues. Not only do most of my units cause fear, Kairos also causes a good deal of terror. And if I can just wheel these cav units around and they actually charge. Oh, please charge. Oh my gosh, these knights are having the most lackluster charges I've ever seen. Though they've still done a lot of work. They've still done a lot of damage. It's just... man, do they feel lackluster. Finally, though, we get a little bit of a rout. The problem with these guys, once they're tired, they're very slow and lumbering. It's just kind of how it would be. Only war 2? No only war. I just kind of wanted a quick stream today. So if we end up snowballing and finishing the campaign early, then that's good. I think that's kind of my goal here for today. I would love to be able to effectively speedrun this campaign, if at all possible. But I did hear someone mention the other day that the randomized start positions can actually make things pretty spicy. So this will be a nice judgment of how difficult things will be. It's kind of what we're testing out. Kairos is getting pretty low, by the way. And all these here rallying units are causing me issues. Exalted Flamer's still doing good, though. Jesus, Dark Elf army, man. Their last stand is going on much longer than I thought it would. It's probably because their vigor got reset by their passive. Many of my units are very beat up, but this battle will get me 3 armies killed at the same time, so should be pretty good. Nice, big surround. And then we kill off these boys. And army losses. Actually, no. Kairos took too much damage. I'm gonna need to actually injure these guys for army losses to kick in. Because you do need, what? 1.6 was it? Or 2.6 times the army strength of your... yeah, you need like something like that to trigger army losses. Thankfully, this guy actually does quite a bit of damage. Just his melee stats kind of suck. Local Dark Elves refuse to break. They are holding up very well. Surprisingly well, even. Kairos has 1,000... Okay, it's a decent amount of HP. Should be able to get a couple free pot shots in. A little bit of cycle charging. Yeah, get him, Kairos. Beat him up. Alright, don't die, though. Don't die. We gotta bog this guy down so he stops shooting my guys. Fortunately, my Chaos Knights are kind of suffering, too. Come on, man. There we go. All right, dude. These guys. What are their stats, man? Holy. Base 60, other 15, difficulty modifier 5. Jeez, no wonder they're so tanky. In your Astankia campaign, you invested a lot in magic reserve abilities on your heroes, like 200 reserves, but I only got 50 wins of magic. Why is that? Well, reserves, you actually have to go into stances usually to build up your wins of magic. So when you get the reserve ability on your heroes and such, I believe it increases your maximum capacity. I might be wrong, though. I might be thinking of something else, but if I had to guess, that's what it is. Knees sounding like bubble wrap in your 30s. Yeah, it's okay. If I just start exercising a lot, I'll be good, right? 30s is like prime time to start living healthy. Kind of be cool to see a different end game other than dwarves. I really hope CA just completely overhaul the end games into a state where you actually have a pretty good challenge. Do lackluster charges get charge bonus still? I'm actually not entirely sure. If they just walk in, do they get the charge bonus? My guess is no, because it doesn't seem like they get that increased deeps. But I have not actually tested it myself. Yeah, Tzeentch's own demons. Hey, Tzeentch is all about that backstabbery. So, nice. That is a lot of money. And the great thing, too... Ooh, nice. Got a regiment for now. The great thing, too, about securing the settlement is that... Well, actually, no, not really a great thing, but I'm not going to convert it into, like, a unit settlement. I think what I want to do to snowball in this campaign, because we're in such an awkward position. We're surrounded by people that most likely hate us and will declare war on us. In general, one of the best ways to steamroll is to just go for a bunch of regiments of renown. It's going to be expensive, but if I do that and kind of sack my way around everywhere, then I should be able to get a pretty strong army. And then once I find a nice little spot to settle in, then we steal the AI's tier 5 settlement and then use that for proper recruiting. But like, first things first, in almost every campaign, you just want to ramp your main army. Tzeentch has a minimum reserve? Huh. Interesting. Revert the AI back to Warhammer 2. Honestly, Warhammer 2 had the best end games. It actually had some of the best end games. And they botched it, man. They botched it. But having the AI just consolidate into just an ultra strong force that would just send armies your way constantly, it was like a natural endgame crisis. Changing away's cooldown, ambush success chance, control. What do I want here? Do I want grimoires? I actually don't have a spell casting tree because Kairos is weird like that. He has the fragments of sorcery. So, how do I do this again? It's just pick whatever I want, right? Dude, Earth Blood. You can just get Earth Blood at the start. But this guy's busted. 16 damage, 20 damage for less. Sure, there's no Warp Flame, but Wind Blast is just really good right now. And then for the elite stuff, I think the thing that makes the most sense, dude, Uranins is like definitely the best thing here. Also, I love how Treason of Tzeentch gets put right by Doom and Darkness. So that's 43 seconds. This lasts 20 seconds. I guess they are slightly different. But yeah, far and away Uranins is better. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think I just really hope with the upcoming End Times DLC. It's called the End Times DLC, right? If they don't polish stuff up by then, the game's just always going to be in a terrible state. They did have that one Reddit post that said that they would be polishing things up. But I guess we'll be waiting to see. Yeah, sure. Let's just get extra grimoires. All right. Kairos, looking pretty good. We got some more dudes. And then I'm just going to go ahead and attack this settlement. And then we're just going to leave a bunch of ruins behind us. Ooh, another one. More grimoires. The grimoires are my main resource here. Can I do some shenanigans here? How does this work? Yeah, so I can like reduce the magic in a region and swap it around. There's not much that I can really do right now though. The future of Warhammer 3. They did say it wasn't the last DLC, but you can never trust them. Never trust EA. You completely forgot Kairos gets a 40-second no move staff. Yeah, in multiplayer. Yo, it's honestly really weird that Tzeentch doesn't have access to more magic in multiplayer. Why does Tzeentch only have the lore of Tzeentch and the lore of metal? I think that is absurd, man. That's crazy. It does not make any sense. Interesting. So we got him on the run. They're taking pretty terrible attrition. Let's see here. Oh boy, okay, we already got the Norskins. Oh, the Empire and Norska switched. That's pretty fun. Warhammer 3's DLC is gonna last forever, hopefully. In campaign 2, the blue scribes get every lore and no one else. Kairos gets every passive at least. Yeah, Kairos can kind of switch around his spells. Oh yeah, I guess no. So Tzeentch already has lore of fire through their cultists, but yeah, they should at least have like a few more. Like I feel like lore of death at least. Like okay, look, honestly, Tzeentch should just have the basic lores of magic at the very least. I can kind of accept that they don't have high magic, sure, whatever. Leave that for the high elves, but like, come on, man. CA doing them dirty. Cult upgrade. Upgrade. Changing of ways. Cost minus 80 faction wide. To super amps your discoverability. That's fun. Anyways, yeah, I need 7 more turns and then I can start moving around my army like I'm corn. That should be fun. Forever equals until 40k releases. I do wonder if they're going to support both games. Maybe they will. Maybe. A lot of factions should have all basic wins like High Elves and Empire do. Yeah, like if Empire, kind of just the human faction can have it, I feel like other factions should too. Although, with how the lore of life works, it is a little... It is a little weird to see like a Dark Elf life caster change the balance a lot. But if they have it in on tabletop, I don't see why not. Just make it like, make them way more expensive in multiplayer or something. I don't know. Or just make them, I don't know. I don't know if you want to add it to campaign, because then all the factions might feel too samey. I say as they give every faction and their mother Lorifier. Who doesn't have Lorifier at this point, really? Okay, there are a few factions, but you know what I mean. Really, auto-resolve said I was going to get some pretty vicious losses here. I would disagree. Alright, so this is just a bunch of basic kite. Getting in that free damage. Alright. And then once they have taken a good amount of the flamethrowing, then we can walk forwards with the Marauders. We send them into the melee and the AI will blob up for a devastating burning head. And life will be good. And Kairos will take too much damage from archers. On your word. What's the theme today? Just a random start position campaign. Seeing how quickly we can steamroll with your boy Kairos. My guess is that Kairos will be able to actually crush it pretty hard, but we don't know yet. Alright, let's send the boys over here. Let's do this, and then we're going to chuck a burning head right down there. And as usual with the range units, as long as you keep them occupied, life is chill. There you go. They all dead. That was actually a money burning head. This guy, 51 kills, lots of value. Love it. Very nice. And then I can cast pseudo burning head with this exalted flamer. Just right from the hillside. Unfortunately, their aiming is still kind of jank, but this will do. Can I get him into slightly better position? Ooh, there we go. That's huge. Fun fact about this guy, his shots create little vortexes. That's why it does so much damage. Yeah, the burning head, it curved. It curved. If you if you position it just right, you can get slightly higher chances that it curves in your favor. But sometimes burning head can just completely veer off. The way it works is, I believe every second or so, it has a chance to change its direction slightly. So if you get really unlucky, it'll just keep changing its direction a lot early on, and like immediately it'll just go like, oh, and just go into nowhere, or even worse, straight into your own units. The only reliable part of burning head is kind of the first unit it hits. After that, you're kind of just hoping for the best. And because of that, it's usually better to aim your burning head slightly away from your own guys. That way, if it curves towards your dudes, it hits the enemy, and if it curves away, it just misses. Oh, cost reduction. Wow. Nice. Lore of, okay, wow. Wow. Oh my goodness, Kairos has some good spellcasting. Who would have guessed? Ooh, more ogres. Hell yeah, give me that. I know all fates. Do they count as the same pool? Oh, am I maxed on ogres? It's mercenary unit capacity. It's 3. Interesting. Fine by me. But yeah, we got a little settlement here. We'll just increase that research rate. Interesting. You get more research rate from owning provinces. I should like go to the Cathayan walls and just get 1 million research. In fact, it would actually be so good if we were in the middle of Cathay, or like if I took these Empire fort settlements. That actually is tempting me to go there right now, actually. Instantly teleports your faction leader, but then it destroys the cult. I don't know if I want to destroy the cult. There aren't that many Empire forts anyways. So I guess we will pass. Too many ogres, my lord. Random direction spells are great. I think it's kind of fun having them have a little bit of RNG. Especially in today's meta where everyone's using very consistent damage spells like Malkoths and the like, Flock of Doom. It'd be cool to see the more inconsistent spells getting buffed. I wonder if you could do that with buff spells. Make it so there's a chance it overcasts. It'd be nice. Tabletop had a lot of RNG even with artillery, so it's not completely out of the question. This is kind of annoying. I have a little Zine traction here, but I actually don't really want to waste my time with them.
Nothing in it for me.
Oh, dang. Free settlement. I will have to fight a bunch of ogres here soon. But free settlement's a free settlement. I want to take as many fights as possible. Let's see, how's my magic doing? Can I convert to grimoires? No, I have no magic, bro. Can I? No. Well, that's unfortunate. Dang, how'd my magic get so low, man? Dude, my magic fell off a cliff. Oh yeah, we are neighbors with Takala. I'm just gonna fight everyone though. Fight everyone in my local area. What's the difficulty? Legendary, as usual. And there we go, big fight. I can auto resolve it. I can fight it. I think I will just let's see here. Do I really want to save the Furies and an ogre? No. No magic with the faction that can change magic in region. Yeah. Oh hey, peace treaty. That's a lot of money. Yeah, if I just keep fighting people and having them sue for peace, that's like infinite money hack. Gonna abandon Norska. Yeah, I think I'm just going to dive headfirst into the Empire. It has more settlement density, which is what you generally want for the quick leveling. Kairos is already level 9, which is a good sign for me. Power capacity, all armies. Very nice. So, with the ogres beat up, what do we have here? We have some green skins. I just want to fight the world. Dang, that's so good. I do want to eventually get this though, because it increases my movement range. What do we got here? More Burning Head. Honestly, Burning Head is probably better than a lot of what Kairos has right now. And we're just gonna pick more fights. Did he already run away? No. I just lost vision of them. Interesting.
I serve only the Asa.
Sure. Yeah, we'll just go right here. We're gonna have more elves, but with the power of Burning Head, we shall be indestructible. Everyone would abandon Norska if they could. The only reason the Norskins are there is because the Empire doesn't like them to the south, and it's just straight up chaos to the north. All right. Oh boy. Yeah, my magic situation's kind of garbo. Just a smidge garbage. So I only have a couple burning heads. We must be careful. This is a very wide high elf army. My army, on the other hand, is very beat up and bruised. But they have a lot of archers. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna grab these knights over here and send them on a wonderful mission into the distance. Let's see if we can... Actually, let's not waste too much ammunition here. I think what I really need to do... Okay, so obviously we gotta disrupt the range units. I only have so much infantry to get them to blob up. But if I can do that and get the burning head, we're still good. They're also wasting magic like no one's business. They're also not supporting their allies. All very nice. So I think this is what we do. I'm gonna kite them down with the Exalted Flamer. Get them to come to me. Use the knights back here to bully their archers and keep them all on the move. As long as I don't engage with the knights, the archers should be in a pretty bad position. And then if I can just kill the front line with the burning heads and the flamer, then I think everything's dandy. Just gotta kill off the cavalry so that the flamethrower guy doesn't get caught up. Don't want the cavalry to kill him here. That's an amazing blob, but unfortunately I got hill line of sight. There was a hill. You see this thing? You see this thing right here? It's very hard to see hill. Yeah, unfortunately that does block just enough line of sight. Honestly though, this one flamer is probably just gonna hard carry. I foresee much carrying with this guy. By those Lothern Sea Guard, okay. I could also potentially come in with my knights. This will be good. Free pick on the Reavers. Okay, I think they're on the side of the hill now, which should make it easier for this Exalted Flamer to actually land hits. Indeed, I was correct in my hypothesis. Very nice. And then we pull away. So far, so good. We got one archer unit distracted. And I'm not gonna magic kite with Kairos just yet because I very much so need the winds of magic for the burning heads. Gonna lose the flamer. If I micro him properly, we'll be fine. Anything higher than no HP is enough HP for me. Also, he has pretty nice stagger animations that keep him nice and healthy. Now I can also fight in the trees to stop any issues from getting shot at. It does provide some natural resistance. Dodge with the flamer so you don't die. And then you get another free pot shot. Then we just gotta bully the more archers. We're almost out of dudes, almost out of front line, which is the most important thing here. I just need to work them a little bit more and then we're good. The one cavalry unit doing very nice too. That's a perfect shot down the pipe. Oh my goodness. The Exalted Flamer's basically a spellcaster at this point. Okay, nice. And I think we can actually start going through here. Gotta dodge with the flamer though. Ouch, 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 ouch. They get less accurate the further I am. So this is actually helping them because it makes it harder to dodge. Alright, here we go though. Yeesh. Okay, you might have been right about me losing the flamer. I think he'll be okay though, as long as I keep swerving with the guy. Very nice. Okay, now the archers are on the move, which means they are going to be rather useless. In fact, if I just keep my knights here, they'll stay in that kind of skirmish mode idea. They'll keep kind of wandering around and that'll make life just perfect. Now in these situations when you have or when the enemy has a very small front line, a very weak front line, and you have a bunch of melee dudes, it's better to burning head them than it is the archers. You want to break the front line as fast as you can. Otherwise, if you just hit the archers, they're going to take a bit of damage and then they'll still be hanging around. This is great though. The AI just sucks at standing their ground. So you can see all these archers just being completely useless. We even got a couple of them here in melee. That's nice. Exalted Flamer has indeed broken one of the lines of the enemy. And then bada bing, bada boom. That's going to melt them. This is getting a little spicy though. Some of the archers are standing the ground currently. I think if I just send in the blues though, they'll distract them just fine. Exalted Flamer can help out this situation very soon. And as long as I keep Kairos and the Knights moving, it's probably gonna be enough. And I have all my melee units out now. Life should be good. Just gotta keep moving. These guys should probably think about disengaging too. Chaos Knights. You don't want to be stuck in there. Definitely gonna need to get this Exalted Flamer in here soon too. Oh, I am out of magic also. Very unfortunate. I can distract these guys at least so that they don't kill my Flamer. Okay, there you go. Pretty okay shot. I think I can, if I can group them up with my caster and they all heal, we'll be good. It's still a little precarious. I've accidentally blobbed up a bit too hard here too. But I believe as the battle goes on, things will only get better for me. There you go. De-blobbing the Marauders. I just gotta make sure we can get everybody in melee, essentially. Get in there, Flamer. Beat him up. Okay, there we go. And that should line up one of the best shots ever on this guy. Not the best shot ever, but still pretty decent. I just gotta kill off, I think this Lothern Sea Guard is what's keeping them in the fight. If I can just delete them, we'll be good. I must say though, it is very fun having this one high micro unit hanging around, helping me crush face. Look at him go. This Exalted Flamer is probably the most important tool in this entire build. If he dies, my ability to win battles goes down rather dramatically.
Follow the web.
A couple of units are still holding, by the way, but if I use Kairos for terror routing, we'll be good. Dark Elf spawn shades from the sea. They can also just get shades anywhere, right? Does it have to be the sea? Does it have to be Black Arcs? I doubt it. Yeah, Flamer, big MVP. Look at that volley. Ooh. Already at 400 kills. Let's get another one on these spears over here. Very nice. And we're gonna pivot. And he's gonna do another shot into these archers. Jeez, the Flamer, man. This guy doesn't hold back. Oh my goodness. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Definitely the best unit. Well worth the upkeep cost, I must say. And that is going to give me a lot of experience here. Honestly, that's very hype. This is actually better than a normal Kairos start because you get so many enemies to fight. Heal. Oh yeah, alright. I usually don't do this, but because this is still a bit of a precarious campaign, it's probably better that I get the heals on. There you go. we got a little mini heal. I will need to get some more magic later though. What percent of Tzeentch damage comes from the Flamer? I think the Flamer got it got about a third of all the kills in that battle. That's pretty impressive. Nobody killed as much as that one Flamer. Quite ludicrous, actually. The Mega Valley. Oh, dark elves are what? Sea people from Irish legend? Huh? Or, oh no, wait, are you talking shades? I don't even know what to talk about right now. Never mind. What are we doing? Looting and occupying. Huzzah! We got, wow, you can get these guys so early. Are you kidding me? I can get the Severed Claw at level 10. That's like a tier 5 unit. I'll take it. I will take it though. So right now my army is definitely strong enough to hold its own versus most enemies. That is not the thing that I am worried about. I'm also just going to merge units and use this as pseudo healing. We have a bank. What I need to do is focus on things that are not the main army. I need to get like or like not my combat, but I need my campaign prowess. I need to be able to get everywhere. And what? I think we're like 6 turns away from having double move. Yeah, I know the best recruitment for shades is through black arcs. That's with everything though. Black arcs are just super OP. And a March Stance Greenskin army. If I had movement range, I would kill them and then hit the settlement. Let's see. I just need infinity fights. And then maybe I can go to where Vlad usually is. And then take over his territory.
Master, there is a rift, a paradox in the weave of fate.
I'm probably going to go do the quest battles later, by the by. Unfortunately for me, Sirtha Ek has decided to siege. Yeah, Sirtha Ek is sieging this settlement. Okay, well, nothing wrong with fighting some greenskins. This is what they want, right? We are going to just auto-resolve this for simplicity's sake. Power reserve +5. Yeah, let's just do this. And then I'm going to go into the magic gain stance. Okay. And then I guess I need to lick my wounds for a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to lick my wounds for a little bit. Same way can heal faster. Casualty replenishment rate, Lord's Army, Demons Reforged. Well, how do you do? Definitely worth.
Is in flux.
Do I need the grimoires? It's it's a lot of extra grimoires, but I think I kind of need the magic right now.
Eternity.
Is there like a replenishment building I can get at Zoyshink? There's gotta be, right? There always is one. Come on, man. Wait, does Zinch not have a replenishment building? Oh my goodness. You just have to suffer? Is there like a hero that gives replenishment? Iridescent Horrors at tier 3. Oof. Alright, well, I guess we're sitting back and relaxing for a little bit. We're just gonna chill for a second. If Sirtha Ek gets injured enough from this fight, though, we can kill his arm. Yeah, at least they have a hero. Heroes with replenishment, generally, they give more than enough for any practical situation. Come on, Sirtha Ek, take the fight. Take the fight, let your army get decimated. I honestly don't even need that many marauders to take him on, as long as he doesn't have too many chariots. Which, by the way, they should have set him up with a 20 stack of chariots. That's at the start of campaigns. I think that was Surtha Ek getting the settlement. No, Surtha Ek isn't even doing anything. Did he sack it? He just stopped sieging it. What a mad lad. All right. Well, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it, man. I can even use his army. Dang. All right. Big AI misplay. We get another victory through this. Unfortunately, that gave me like no experience for some reason. And then we take the settlement. Ooh, nice. And that's gonna be another little bit of research rate. So the X army's pretty chumpy. If he declares war on me, I should be okay. And I'm just gonna continue my regiment renown stack. Definitely you want to stack the replenishment in these kind of hyper aggro campaigns, because obviously your army's gonna need a heal up. Like, my healing right now is actually my limiting factor. And then if I can do the quest battle, then we're super set. Right now we're kind of just playing like a horde army. This entire campaign relies on me living. Diplomacy. I'm not doing diplomacy. I'm just using Surtha X army, which is conveniently nearby. Give yourself limits like no ambush or army stacking. In this case, we're doing no... Like, I'm not going to other factions for diplomacy. Because right now, diplomacy is way too broken. Literally, you can break it without even intending to break it. I have to actively avoid breaking diplomacy. I'm also not, you know, going super hard into, like, the lightning strike and stuff. We're just kind of playing a normal campaign. As a lot of people say, you know. Playing, well, yeah, just playing a campaign without being super sweaty. Could attack more Norskins, by the by. I kind of want to do that. Favorable winds, hell yeah, that's a lot of move range. And that should allow me to attack these guys. To make some new enemies. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's okay, I'll attack them next turn. That sadly stalls me by one turn, but yeah. Did they fix that with Aislinn? Wasn't Aislinn able to attack from sea properly? I feel like it's always a coin flip with these settlements. You can kind of tell based on like where your army looks like it's going to drop off near the settlement, but I misevaluated that one. I think it's settlement specific. You can technically memorize which settlements have good drop off points. If I looped around here, I might have been able to attack it right away. But the jank is real. You stopped using lightning strike, you got bored of it. Yeah, it's really OP because currently the AI does not know how to make an army that's strong enough to beat a player doom stack. Dang it, and they fled. Well, I can borrow time at least. So what I can do is I can auto-resolve this one. Sack it. For good payday. Then we go over here to Salzamund. We go for the borrow time. Select Kairos. Perform it. And then keep going. And then we sack this element. I can do that every 10 turns. That is quite a long amount of time. I can reduce that cooldown later. But it's basically a free move. It makes up for the lost move the previous turn. And nice, we have a chariot. Soon enough, I will have all the regiments of renown and I can do quest battles. So that's pretty good. Now I can start working on the sacking technology tree. The reason that's super good is because we are going full sacking economy this day. And I want to build this up because Kairos' army is about to get rather expensive. It's about to get rather expensive. Actually, you know what? That's not worth. I'm gonna lose the settlement so quickly anyways. What? The Boris didn't move. Boris just stayed in Middenheim. He survived the randomizer. Dang, alright. He survived the Tzeentch ritual that shuffled everything. What is more Tzeentch than not affecting one faction, though? You think Wolfric can do that as well? Yeah. Honestly, they should just do it for every faction. The landing system is clearly just janky, right? Give some people some quality of life. Middenlanders so stubborn, they said nah. Very Tzeentch resistant. Quite impressive. Hey, we got another peace treaty, nice. Well, let's test the stubbornness of the Middenlanders. Oh my gosh, the Kislevites have returned through rebellion. Recruit an additional lord. I can do that. First things first, though, I want to go over here. We want to get our replenishment. We're going to do this finally. Whoop. Let's see here. What's the requirement? Army belongs to you in enemy territory, not besieging. Oh, I'm not enemy territory. I'd rather build up my magic first than cast that right away. It's slightly inefficient, but we'll live. Can start transferring settlements. Not needed though. I do have a good amount of grimoire, so we're really in no rush. Do I do this? Or do I stay in? Nah, I'd actually rather have magic than that. Though I botched it. I can't go back into the stance. So recruiting it shall be. Yeah, maybe Middenland died and resurrected. The rebellions are high with the randomizer mod. Although the AI is pretty resistant to rebellions. A few factors. I could see it either way, honestly. We'll know if he has more than one territory. I guess the general vibes is he doesn't look like a rebellion faction. On your randomizer run, it was all demons and tomb kings. Yeah, this is actually kind of a normal looking empire. There's a lot of Norskins and just normal empire folk. There were some elves, I guess. There's some Bretonnians, but still humans. Yeah, I think Boris actually didn't move. Insane. The question is, do I want to fight Boris? We also have Brass Keep over here, some Tomb Kings. I think I'd rather face them before Boris. It's like those .io games, right? You want to eat the small fries before you go for the big ones. Very nice. I need to get to level 16. At level 16, I get another Regiment of Renown, which will be perfect for me. We are in a target-rich environment now, by the way. Very perfect. I have pretty good replenishment, actually, against all odds. And I believe next turn I can likely do the quest battle. The Marauders are just here for buffering, by the way. They're just there to make the auto-resolve slightly better. Murder Hobo campaign? Absolutely. I think Murder Hobo is the best way to start snowballing. Oh yeah, random thought. But I did mention yesterday the this is completely unrelated, but we had a conversation about AI and why AI seems so bad, why people dislike it so much, even though in theory it's a usable tool that you shouldn't use everywhere. The exact same happened with 3D, man. 3D movies, you can make a good 3D movie, right? But when 3D was first coming out as a new technology, people spammed that like no tomorrow. All right, we had AI, we have AI slop today, is what people call it. But man, 3D was so overused early on. Let's see here. Interesting. That's a lot of Bretonnians. Thankfully, they're all peasants. But yeah, I think we're kind of going through the same phase. So we kind of need people to get it out of their system first. And then once people actually know how to use the tool, like a proper tool, then life will be better. Yeah, CGI slot. Spy Kids 3D. Yeah. People don't realize that we've already lived through this before. So we can kind of expect a similar situation. But alright, this should be a fun battle. I finally have an absurd amount of magic. There is a dog in the hallway. Please ignore the doggo. I'm pretty sure I can beat this army with just these guys. Maybe I'll bring in the flamer so we can have fun too. Alrighty. You know what? I could probably just do this. Oh, Kairos has access to more spells too. That's really hype. At the end of the day, though, Earthblood's just kind of insane. Earthblood. Alright, so can the AI stop a single chariot? I guess they do have this flyer, dude. Oh, they ain't gonna brace in time. Hey. Although the movement actually semi-dodged the chariots. It's kind of funny. Alright, let's go over here. Let's do some of this. And then I guess we'll... Can I get into the cookie jar? I really want to get the chariots into the backfield, but this one flying lord is actually the main problem here. You know what? Honestly, the AI loves to go super wide with their formation. If you just kind of pick at their sides, it should just be free winnings. And then at some point I can probably just get a massive burning head here. In fact, I believe this is it. Just chuck it down the pipe. Little lord over here is not a big deal. We got chariots to bully him. Kairos can just keep healing. I have so much magic too. And by the way, peasant archers have the lowest HP per entity archer. I believe they're actually if they might be goblin tier in terms of HP. Actually, I kind of wonder, are they the lowest? Sorry, 1 second. Bretonnian archers. So they have 4860 divided by 90. They have 54 HP per entity. A normal Empire State troop tends to have 69, which is quite a bit more. Also nice. But goblins, if you look at goblins, do they have more than 54 HP? Okay, no, they definitely have less. Divided by 120. They have 51. It's a 3 HP difference, which is still kind of insane. Your average Bretonnian archer has only 3 more HP than a gobbo. Just a straight up little gobbo. Yeah, peasant tide, pet the dog. It's not my dog, man. I don't think I'm allowed to step out and pet him. You see this hill? Almost got hilled there. My dream wish, by the way, is that CA makes hills way more visible when it comes to line of sight. If they made it so that... Also, dang, lots of kills. But yeah, if they made it so that you could see where your line of sight ends at the hill, that would solve so much of people's annoyances. You don't even bother giving your peasant archers armor on tabletop. You just accept that if they get charged, they're dead. It's very fitting for the faction. I don't think it's a bad thing, by the way. It is very thematic for the Bretonnians. Oh yeah, I forgot. This guy can also kite. He has a lamprey's bite, which you can actually aim. Something that I did not know about. Dang, their formation just got chewed up, didn't it? It feels like they're so thin now. Now, unlike last battle, I think I do actually want to... Ooh, mega damage. I think, unlike last battle, I want to kill their archers because they are the weak link. You either want to fully break their front line or you want to fully break their back line. And in this case, the back line is easier. Therefore, that is the one that we go for. Especially because we know my infantry can win the front line fight. I'm in no rush to... kill him. Let's get another one of these. Good old flamethrower volley, and then the aspiring champion's just gonna walk up. These guys have so much armor. They could almost solo this entire army if it was a vanilla army. On legendary difficulty, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because indeed the AI gets higher melee attack. So technically these armor piercing halberds could... No, they still have 23 melee defense. I mean melee attack. 23 melee attack is abysmal, man. There's no way they're gonna do anything there. Ooh, can I get this caster up just a smidge? Thank you. Just enough range on Burning Head to catch out the Bretonnian archers. That's perfect. And that means, yeah, they just gone. Very nice. In fact, I might just be able to send my cavalry and chariots there. I think that's probably the best way to do this. Gotta be a little careful though. I don't want him to beat up my poor thingamajig there. I'm gonna break the rule slightly because this is just such a good blob. Very nice. And Exalted Flamer is gonna live, which means it is time for the archer bullying spree. Bretonnian archers, truly the most fun unit. The most fun unit to bully. And we're just going to bounce around. Chariot's taking a little bit of damage.
Many eyes shall see.
I'm just gonna chuck this down the pipe. Hopefully we can clip all these guys and just get them to rout. If you rout off a unit 3 times, they will shatter from the battlefield. That's why you see trolls usually routing at very high HP amounts. And indeed, yep, even on legendary, the Bretonnian archers are just not very good at staying in the fight, are they? This one shattered? Oh my goodness, bro. Classic Bretonnia. Absolutely classic Bretonnia. Honestly, greenskins pull off gobbo ties better than Bretonnia. I think, do greenskin goblins have more leadership? It's kind of hard to say. They might. I just feel like Bretonnian archers just fall to everything. Maybe it's just because greenskins don't run a lot of... Maybe it's because they don't run a lot of goblins that I forget how sucky they are. Oof. But there's army losses. And that's going to be 1,000,000 Bretonnians dead. Hopefully that will make my experience gain a little better. Gotta make sure these guys don't die, by the way. And I think as long as I can group up the Kairos and everything, will be okay. Whew, here we go. Oh, do I not have enough for a heal? Oh, barely not enough. It's okay. This thing will recharge. He'll recharge. We'll be good. What's this? Oh, what the? This guy managed to escape. Look at him go. Sorry, what's this about Bretonnia? I saw a message about Bretonnia, but I'm trying to not lose Kairos to this rogue paladin. Trying to be a hero? Look at this guy. So weird that the Bretonnian AI doesn't build any knight units. They tend to spam knights really late, but they do build them. Trust me, I've seen some Bretonnian late game armies that are actually super duper scary. Like just a bunch of Grail Knights. Malnourishment. That's the Bretonnians. They got teleported into... Honestly, the lands of the Empire should be pretty lush. That'd be funny though. The Bretonnians get stronger the more money you have. Although I guess it wouldn't actually work that way, right? The Bretonnian peasants should say the same. The more money you have, the stronger your knights should be. That's more accurate. Our stream's permanently starting an hour earlier now until daylight savings hits for Europe. If you don't have daylight savings, then yeah, it's gonna be earlier for about half a year. Good old daylight savings time. Look, I'm all for daylight savings getting kicked out forever, man. Maybe I am naive, you know, maybe there's actually some crazy thing about daylight savings that I am not factoring in. Hello? No way he can win this. Absolutely no way, right? With all the magic I have. I think I just blob up in Burning Head. Does he have army abilities? Does he have a Skull Storm? He does. 3 Sandstorms. I'll still fight it. But yeah, daylight savings, I don't know. I've never heard a good argument for daylight savings. Changed my mind though. Yeah, I will say randomized start positions let you fight a lot more factions. It's kind of fun. 2 more weeks, yeah. Europe, you guys are getting daylight savings at the end of the month. Can we at least synchronize daylight savings? Is that too much to ask for? Maybe it is. But yeah, I feel like synchronized daylight savings could be pretty high. Okay, so they've all deployed here. So we're gonna use the power of walking to get over here and give them a hard time. I should also change Kairos' spells at some point. Can I just bully Kontep with Kairos? How bad of a fighter is Kairos? 33 and 22 melee defense. Kontep has 1,000,000 melee defense, but Kairos can get a lot of charge animations off. With this charge bonus of 45 too, just by being a big body. You might be able to get some work done. Yeah, get him, Kairos. Beat him up. Slowly but surely. And we also have a little dude coming out of the walls here. Honestly, I've always said siege battles would be way better if you just made it this just one lane, you know? Revert back to the old siege battles. Don't have the whole giant map here. The AI does not know how to manage this. By the way, Tzeentch's Firestorm, one of the best vortexes in the game. In terms of damage, it just... Or, you know, damage per... Actually, no, it is kind of expensive. Never mind. I thought it was 13. Never mind. Flamestorm's way better. Tzeentch uses it a lot in multiplayer, but I guess that's because it's one of the only ones they have access to when they're running Kairos. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, daylight savings is definitely just like an old school thing that just kind of stuck around. If we were to keep it, though, it should be standardized. But, you know, some other countries have already gotten rid of daylight savings. They already got rid of daylight savings. So we're not going to ask them to bring it back. That would just be rude. How's it compared to Gate of Tzeentch? It's much cheaper. And they both end up killing whatever they're targeting anyways. So you really don't benefit much. Okay, nice. The spill through is going okay. Kotep has taken a mild amount of damage. I think what I want to do is just start chucking out burning heads.
Many eyes shall see.
Start chucking out lots of magic. We did take our time to replenish our magic specifically for this reason. And then I just need to not get Recaronied by the Kotep spellcaster. This should be good though. How good is the AI at dodging in settlements? Pretty bad. They just stop moving. That's not what you want to be doing. They're usually quite good at dodging spells outside of settlements, but here it seems like it was a little too much for them. Hopefully I can keep stalling Kotep, by the way, before he gets in here, because the spell, the Sandstorm, really will mess me up super hard. It's the only reason why I'm not X4ing through this entire battle. Oh, is Kairos about to just delete these guys? I think he is. Yeah, Circadian Rhythm. I did hear that the whole thing about how daylight savings causes people to die more because it like messes up with their cycles. I think like that we don't know if it's, we don't know how impactful it is versus like the lives saved from people getting to sleep in more. You know, I can hazard a guess that it's probably not good to mess with people's rhythms, but it's a little, that one, I don't know how good of an argument that is. Either way, I still think we should totally get rid of daylight savings, but something to keep in mind. Also, crap, I forgot to use the Lamprey's Revenge. I forgot how many abilities Zinch armies get. Also, Kairos is kind of getting worked on. It's okay though. As soon as I get this bad boy in, we'll be good. Huzzah. Boom. Man, I do wish though that siege battles were a little better. It's very hard for siege battles to not just become a mega mosh pit. Like, even with my micro, the choke points are so tight that it's just kind of awkward moving your guys around anyways. Also, this is gonna be a money flamestorm. Jeez Louise, that's gonna be money if it lands. Oh, give me that. Goodbye, Skella boys. I just have to be ready to run away in case it starts nuking my own guys. Nasty though, straight nasty flamestorm. Unfortunately, it goes away from the skeleton, so we're gonna go for Burning Head instead. There we go. Jeez Louise, and the rebound. Love that. But am I out of magic now? It appears we are, unfortunately. Kairos is taking a little bit of deeps. Fun fact though, Kairos is effectively indestructible if you micro him well. We know this from multiplayer. Kairos is one of the slipperiest dudes you've ever seen. I don't know what it is either. Is it just his high base leadership? Maybe. Also, crap, my caster's getting a little bogged down. See if we can save him with a bit of knockdowns.
It is his will. Spread change.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's kind of hard to micro dudes. You know what? Yeah, you know, just route. Just route. Units micro better when they're routing anyways. And you know what? I'll just park Kairos out over here. He casts a Skull Storm, but he kind of biffs it. Oh, never mind. Skull Storm. Moving towards my units.
On your word. Get there.
Let's see here. Do I have... Okay, I do have momentum, which does increase my vigor. But it's going to take a while unless I get multiple cap points.
This way.
Is there anything I can do to micro here? I have a bunch of mobility that's just kind of sitting here doing nothing. Maybe this formation's loose enough, though, for them to just kind of burst through. I'm going to go for that. And then the Exalted Flamer, we just kind of have to squeeze in over like this. Warhammer 2 Sieges was so terrible, it's stunning that they found an even worse system for Game 3. Okay, I do wonder, though, if Warhammer 2 is just rose-tinted glasses. What if... I'm ready to be insanely wrong, but what if Warhammer 2 Sieges were worse, right? It's honestly kind of hard to remember Warhammer 2 Sieges. But I remember hating them pretty hard, so... Surely they have to be... They have to be worse, right? Now, Warhammer 3 was not a huge improvement, but... Ooh, good snipe. I love that. You know, I just have to play this like it's Vermintide. Play it like a hero battler. And just focus on microing a few key select units. At least Sieges in 3 have some variety. Yeah. I do remember Warhammer 2 Sieges feeling pretty samey. Only total war game with worse sieges is Empire. There was a game with worse sieges? Dang. I guess CA does have a long history, though. Didn't have Terabad pathing with units climbing ladders. Well, okay, now in Warhammer 2, I remember units would... They definitely routed towards the backfield, right? I'm pretty sure in Warhammer 2 they still had that same issue. All right, there we go. And there's a good flanking. Man, I really wonder what causes this, though. You guys think it's like... Is it just because every new generation of developers that shows up, they like tried to make a siege system, but they didn't learn from the errors of the past? What causes a what causes this? And yeah, there we go. That did no damage because they were already dying. There's army loss should be hitting soon. But yeah, definitely, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's because, you know, I do remember when I first played with the new sieges, I actually felt like they weren't too bad. It's probably, if I had to guess, it's that the sameness of the sieges is what's doing it. They're not testing siege battles like if you play it for the 100th time. You know, it's kind of new and interesting, which makes it feel good. And then in testing, it's probably like, you know, they get good reviews because people are like, hey, this is kind of fun, you know? I get to build some towers, we get to do some cool maneuvers. But then the moment you actually kind of understand how the sieges work, then it all starts breaking down. You know, you start noticing like, yeah, all the fights are happening in the front of the siege map. Sieges have sucked in every version. But yeah, I don't know. It's also a lot of work to do siege battles all over again. That's not it? Okay, so you think it's something else. Are the developers just super uninspired? What's the reasoning? Obviously, we can't know unless CA puts out a statement, and even that we can't trust, but... Here's the thing, Warhammer 2 Sieges sucked, but at least they were simple and easy. I do agree with that. They made maps bigger, so issues like AI and pathing were made more prominent. It could be a lot of issues. Ooh, desert attrition, immunity. Very not useful here, but I'll take it. We have more regiments for now. Next is at level 20. Big question though. Let's see, changing of the ways cooldown is pretty hype. Because then I can use borrowed time more. I don't need redline skill tree. We're living entirely off of my... Yeah, we're living entirely off of my regiments for now. Do I want to change Tzeentch's Firestorm though? So it costs 15 winds of magic. I could instead get the Purple Sun. I could go for the Comet of Cassandora, which is 13 winds. The AI can't dodge that, so it's quite cheap. Yeah, Comet of Cassandora. And obviously Burning Head. Yeah, just give that to Kairos. I don't need the other caster anymore. I guess he's just going to be a mana battery. Get that reserve capacity going. And then once he gets Arcane Conduit, then he'll just kind of help me replenish my magic. Oh, Screamers. Hell yeah, I can get Screamers. A unit so bad, they don't even have a use in multiplayer. Nothing super good in this settlement. I think we're almost in that big steamrolly position. I just need to get a 20 stack that can start auto-resolving everything. But yeah, I think I'll plow through Boris and then I'll travel over here, right? We're gonna go through Boris and then hit up Vlad's territory. And then by the time I get there, I should be pretty powerful and basically done. Campaign. Doesn't a lot of it come down to the pathfinding being garbage? I think if pathfinding was perfect in sieges, they would still be garbage. I think no single issue could be fixed and sieges would be good. I'll stand by that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine one fix that'll do it. It could have perfect pathfinding, but then like the sieges will still feel super samey. You could fix the ladders and remove them. Like the siege beta fix where they just removed the ladders. I don't think anyone was like, this is peak siege gameplay. They've done it. Ladders are gone. So we'll have a ways to go. I wonder if 40k will have good sieges. Are they gonna run? They ran. It's okay. I'll hit them next over here. And we did finally get the increased money from sacking settlements. But now what? What is good? Is there a... Do I have to unlock teleportation stance? Teleport. Gonna take 58 turns. Wow. That's a lot of turns. Maybe not. Maybe I don't go for that. Construction time for library buildings. All right, let's just start small and figure out what I want to do. Cooldown or... Dude, this skill tree is boring as butts. I'll get the casualty replenishment rate.
Was required.
Surely we can stack research rate? Yeah. Tzeentch gets 10% research rate. Or he gets plus 10 research rate for each province he controls. Yeah. Siege, I do wonder if sieges, I have thought about it, but should sieges be a power fantasy type situation? I guess it should be, right? I think sieges should really play into that power fantasy. That's what it should do. I think the only unit that used to have as Meaty Dangler said, the only unit that used to give a big power fantasy, oh dang, for siege battles was artillery. The joys of just bombarding a settlement down. Hey, Apola, thank you very much for the sub. Yeah, you can bombard settlements down, and that was kind of cool. But even then, it's not like a power fantasy. Ogres kicking down walls is not exactly a power fantasy thing. You want to, like, burn down the settlement. I think there should be way more destructible terrain. There should be way more destructible terrain, and they can have, like, units manning things. Honestly, if they don't do that for 40k. Because 40k tabletop actually does have a lot of terrain mechanics, right? So, like, every unit should have, and this is something I've said a million times, every unit should have a way to interact with sieges. Whether it be climbing walls, destroying terrain, mounting defensive positions. And they should all have very good interplay with that. That would be perfect. One day. I'm sure it'll come. Also, man, these Bretonnians are really getting worked on, aren't they? Queen Bess can still solo sieges. Yeah, I do think, well, honestly, you know what? It's probably not a big problem that one unit can solo sieges. Because units can do that in a field battle, right? And no one really has a problem with that. Like, I think, not too many have a problem that, like, Burning Head is just really fun to use in a battle like this. Like, this just feels good, right? Even though obviously it's super strong, right? But like, this is what people make clips out of. You know, just insane spellcasting. So that's actually not a big deal. Obviously, there's a separate issue of maybe it's a bit too strong, and if we want an actual challenge, there should be ways for the AI to mitigate it. But as a baseline, it's not too bad. Honestly, I could live with it. Also nice, we got that Lord chased off. Yeah. So we'll start with that. We'll start with the power fantasy. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Kairos is just de facto destroyer of everything. He has Burning Head now, and it's spell amped. Kairos has how much? 15% spell amp from Greater Arcane Conduit. Yeah, plus the fact that he can just land on top of them is just terror routes for days. And that goes into a chain route, which becomes a real route. AI dodging the Comet of Cassadora, pretty nice. Oof. Jeez, alright. And then we can get some Burning Head over here. They nerfed AI aggression so bad that campaigns are done by... Yeah. It's fine having the power fantasy as long as you have something that can actually stand up to it. So many problems, so little time. You know, I actually looked up, by the way, you know, for a video, the difference or the release window from Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2. Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 was only like a year and a half apart, right? Am I crazy? Is Google wrong or something? Because that's what I saw. And I'm like, holy crap. We had a Slanesh meta for a longer time than people had to wait for Warhammer 2 to come out. It really is crazy how much the pace of updates and such have decreased. Honestly, I think Warhammer 2 was a golden age. Yeah, they were pretty close. Obviously, Warhammer 2 did have some pretty bad launch issues, but let me enjoy my rose tinted glasses. There were only a handful of DLCs for Warhammer 1. At the slowest pace, where we had to wait almost a year for a DLC, that's like if Warhammer 1 only had one DLC and then Warhammer 2 came out. Crazy sauce. Nice of them to line up like that for you and be all flammable. I will say, Bretonnian peasant archers, one of the most fun units to fight. It's like if greenskins actually did just spam gobos into the horizon. Glorious. That's a solid massacre on their end. Hopefully that results in a easy siege battle or an auto resolve. I'll take it. Still have replenishment issues though, and that's just something that I unfortunately cannot fix. But as my auto resolves get better, that should help. We can get some sick barrier thingamajigs. We have Gaze of Fate. Causes terror for embedded iridescent horror heroes. Interesting. They all cause terror. Barrier for Lord of Change units. We have this good. Barrier replenishment is nice. Barrier replenishment is okay. What is new? Master of the Elemental Winds for my casters. That's insane. Oh, wow. And that increases hero recruit rank. So as soon as I can get some horrors, we just kill everything, right? I need a tier 3 building for that though, and currently the AI has not been able to provide. I should definitely start doing some quest battles soon too for that replenishment. But I've just been taking fights so aggressively. Remember how long it took for Norska to come to Warhammer 2? I actually started playing Warhammer 2 after Norska was added. So I only know the stories of the long wait. I think late Warhammer 2 was the golden age. Early Warhammer 2 was probably pretty janky, but like Warhammer 2 was pretty polished towards the end. Good times. I really do hope Warhammer 40k. I don't know if they'll make it a trilogy. Please don't make it a trilogy. Because every new release is bad. CA can polish a game, but when they start fresh, it's always just terrible. But yeah, 40k for sure. Oh man, dude. Just having a new release that they're probably gonna dump a lot of DLCs for is so exciting. What brought you to Warhammer 2 to begin with? I forget how I even saw it. But somewhere I saw a video, I guess, of a game that apparently was, you know, battle simulator for Warhammer. And that flooded me of memories of the past when I was playing Warhammer Tabletop as a kid. And I'm like, holy crap, they turned it into a game. It's Warhammer Tabletop, the game. And that was super exciting for me. I don't know where I heard of it though, because I actually did not know about the Total War series before Warhammer Total War. But it's probably just because like Warhammer 2 was doing super well. So like basically, you know, if you're anywhere on the internet, you'll probably hear about it. You know what? Yeah, let's just max out that magic, why don't we? Your hatred for League brought you to Warhammer 3. I think I was coming off of my Hearthstone binge back when Hearthstone was pretty new. So I played lots of Hearthstone. And then basically all my time was shifted towards Warhammer Total War. once I got my hands on it. It was a Total Biscuit video? Dang, man. The throwback. Did I learn about it through Total Biscuit too? Because I also watched Total Biscuit. Honestly, they're one of the, you know, their channel is what introduced me to a lot of games, including indie games. But now there aren't, now I don't really have any channels I watch. I think most of the games, I get from you guys. I know someone mentioned eugenics, and then a friend of mine also mentioned eugenics. I will probably try it out at some point. Ooh, 2 for 1, hell yeah. My level ups are slowing down though. How can I speed it up? Excuse me. It was a Legend of Total War hot tub stream that got you? Really? Oh my gosh. Honestly, even if he didn't, I could believe that he did. Mandalore Gaming, dude, Mandalore. Amazing channel. Let's see here. Ooh, Lizardmen have taken over the Empire pretty hard. Good to see. Eugenics players decimated by the Slay the Spire 2 release. I heard that, ooh, we have a real fight. That's a lot of skinks. I heard that it's still a toss-up, though. At least the way my friend described it. I could see both players, or both groups of players, splitting pretty evenly there. By the way, Slay the Spire 2 is great. If you like Slay the Spire 1, Slay the Spire 2 hits the spot. Alright, here we go. It is time to cast more Burning Head. Where they at? I think this is just most battles now. I think we're already at that stage of the campaign where we've snowballed. We've snowballed so much harder than the AI that they can't really do much. Oh boy, they just microed into that one. There should be a you know, a difficulty detection system where the AI, the game, it realizes that you've snowballed such an absurd amount that your Doomstack can't be killed, and then they just start sending like proper armies your way. Should be sending real armies. No, this is weak sauce skink spam. Although then again, my army's not actually indestructible. It's just really good at killing. It's just really good at killing early game armies. I think if we actually fought a Grail Knight stack right now, I would die. But you know, they really should get like some actual terror armies in the late game. I think Warhammer Total War is at its best when the AI makes an army in the late game that is stronger than a Doom stack from the player. I think if you need multiple armies to beat an AI stack, then you have achieved the correct level of difficulty for the late game. If the player can kill an army with also geez Louise, what are you doing, AI? If the player can kill off a late game stack with one army, it means that the late game composition is just one army, right? You definitely don't want that kind of situation, because you start with one army at the beginning of the game. You should need multiple to feel like you've actually gone to a proper late game. Beautiful comment, by the way. Disgusting. Honestly, this was like a fun little stint. We had a good few early battles. I think if I can just capture a you know, like a tier 5 settlement somewhere, we're set. Although we're still pretty early in the campaign, right? I'll have to check what turn count we're on, because if we're still seeing skinks like this, that means we're probably still quite early. And we'll need to give it a bit more time before the AI actually can scale. They tend to scale pretty fast though. Like once, it feels like once they hit tier 3, they've already hit tier 4. And by turn 50, they're already at tier 5. But this composition tells me, what, are we still turn 20? There's no way. Am I getting level ups faster than the turn counter? Gorok and Kairos fighting over the Empire. What in the sandbox is going on in this campaign? It's the random start position mod. It actually is a really nice mix-up to typical campaigns. I might start using it more often. Very nice. Wonder how hard it would be to add extra unit cards for legendary lords and higher difficulties. That would be sick. Also, Archaon's here. Dang, alright. Oh, yo, I can kill him. I can backstab Archaon, just like the Warhammer 1 campaign. But yeah, I will say, anytime CA asks me for what we're looking for in, you know, for Warhammer changes, anytime I can give any feedback, the feedback that I always give is that I want higher difficulties for veteran players. Archaon the Ever-Chosen, Fizz Res, Spell Resist, and some melee attack. Honestly, not as good as I thought it would be. Excuse me. Level 25 is my next unit, but it's the Knights of Immolation. Honestly, I just really want Aeson the Fallen. Anything good here? Flaming Sword of Ruin? Absolutely not. I could attack the settlement, but I could also just go to war against these here Bretonnians. The auto resolve is great. Dang, we are on turn 20. Jeez. Alright. Yeah, so we're going to go for the tier 5 strat. So, oh dang it, the Chaos Dwarves, they can't make Drakenhof tier 5. I could save Averhigh. I could let that rank up a little bit. If I let it rank up to tier 4 and then I take it, that could be good. Or we go to Altdorf. You like the crab mod for difficulty? It's the crab mod. Does it actually make the game more difficult? It would make it the most legendary mod you've ever seen. Archaon's finally forced to leave his start position. Yo, I kind of miss the old endgame crisis for Warhammer 1 and 2. Like Archaon actually just showing up and just burning down all the settlements and sending 20 stacks from the north. That actually, I don't know. Maybe it's just rose tinted glasses again. It's so hard to remember the past. You'd be curious to see my user statistics across the... Oh, to see general user statistics across the whole player base in terms of what proportions of campaigns are at what difficulty levels. I think it would be really interesting and probably enlightening for us hardcore folks. I'm still of the belief that there is a massive casual population that we do not take into account of. If you had the helm for the next patch, you would make tons of summoning units for most factions and flood the AI with them. Always felt awesome chewing down endless Skaven. Yeah, I think the AI having more armies that are kind of weaker is not the worst. The way to make it interesting is that the AI should punish you for doom stacking by being able to slip through 1 million armies into your backfield. What this ends up doing, though, is the player will just play super defensive and build forts at every settlement. So the AI should have armies that are strong enough to beat your siege defenses. But the problem with that is that people will just start cheesing siege battles. And then it just becomes Siege Battle Defense Simulator 24/7. Oh, huh. Volkmar is in Altdorf. Interesting. So it's not a perfect solution. Yeah, Return to Old would be not bad, though. You always very hard, very hard. Legendary's quality of life restrictions are just not fun. Which ones? Because you can disable the Iron Man mode. And you can save whenever you want. I guess Legendary doesn't let you replay battles, though, right? Oh my gosh, Ungrim actually is taking over the world. Ungrim started relatively close to where he usually does, I think. Maybe in the Badlands. Or not the Badlands, the Darklands. Interesting. Restricted camera's the worst part of Legendary. If you use the debug camera, you don't need a mod, and you can fly around wherever you want. So Altdorf is what, tier 3 right now? Oh hey, there's Null. Alright, well let's do the war versus Volkmar. And see if he can pose a big enough threat. Volkmar, final boss. Can it be done? I think it's time I finally do a quest battle, by the way. Now that I have a basically infinite magic. Oh yeah, definitely the people that watch this stream are part of an extremely narrow demographic. Yeah, how do we make it so that it's worth it to spend time and resources on high-end players? Because one would imagine Creative Assembly makes most of their money off of people buying the game, playing it for 10 hours, and then stopping. Maybe they buy a DLC or two, right? You know, maybe they play it for 50 hours. I think more than 100 hours is pretty absurd. They've never really expressed to me what their intentions are, though. So I'm actually not too sure how that works. Can I just snipe Kairos with my Doom Knights? But yeah, I don't really know if they... Ooh. Oh, they have an Exalted Flame or two. Would be nice to know. I don't expect them to ever tell me, though. It'd be kind of weird spilling the beans on company intentions. Okay, this quest battle is actually going to be quite difficult because I do not have the greatest of armies here. It's seriously just Kairos that's kind of strong. I guess I can probably clutch this out with magic. Just start chucking a million spells their way. Get a comet on those knights. and then use the Doom Knights to kill off Kairos. While of course we can defeat early game armies, quest battles tend to be pretty spicy. That's a good comment though. And of course the Flamestorm's doing pretty good. If I can kill off their Kairos, we're golden. I certainly have a lot of magic being chucked out. What do I have? Gate of Zine, sure. Actually, this quest battle's pretty spicy. Because after this, there is going to be a second Kairos army that I have to fight. That should be quite interesting. Yeah, this is my past self. Why is my past self so much stronger than my current self? What's going on?
At once.
Yeah, everyone who's played the game for a long time, if you could just buy more DLCs, that would that would convince Creative Assembly to care about us more. Although technically that is actually kind of true to an extent. Like, not literally, that's not what you should do. But it would technically have CA more interested in spending money for us. Huzzah, we beat our past self.
Chaos Knights of Siege.
But that would be the silliest solution ever. Unicaps to limit or prevent doom stacks. I think unicaps, while you know, a decent solution that can be fun, I think it reduces the power fantasy a lot of like having a 20 stack with dragons. I prefer difficulty options that's... Whoa, they're actually casting some good spells. But yeah, I actually would vastly prefer a difficulty option that doesn't make the player weaker, which is a much more difficult problem. Hey, this future self is lower level than me. What's going on there?
Chaos Knights.
Okay, I should land Kairos. Stop him from dying. Wait, yo, why does my future self have, like, no army? Oh my gosh. Am I gonna get my army deleted in the future? Is that the implication? Apparently my past self was sick. I guess I have a soul grinder in the future? Oh man, dude, future me sucks. Past me had, like, Chaos Knights and a bunch of Forsaken. I don't know how I feel about this. Redeemed a hydrate, thank you. We need some more interesting channel point redeems. Yeah. What can I add though? I should have a thing where you can like rename some campaign units. But then I also have to play more campaign. Also, there's a non-zero chance that we just straight up lose this campaign, by the way. Actually, no, I have too many settlements, but technically Vulmar can come at me right after this battle. And I would have very little to actually stop Vulmar from just killing me, outside of some spell cheese. Which I'm sure would still go pretty hard. Also, dang, that soul grinder is kind of cooking. Do I have knights? I do have knights, thank goodness. Every lord you fight has the Sword of Cain. Now, that would actually be kind of sick. I'm gonna send a message to my mod. Not my mod, but literally the person modding campaigns for me. You mod in every lord having the Sword of... Every lord except for mine having the Sword of Cain. That would genuinely be pretty threatening. It would make it so that I can't just spam. It would make it so I can't just spam specific. You know, I can't just spam like a couple strong single entities because the Sword of Cain can always just annihilate me, right? I would actually need to have like a good amount of gunpowder units in the late game to actually finish them off. That's pretty sick. I like that idea. Delete a unit for channel points. Me versus my chat. Pretty fun idea. Let's see here. I guess I can just Burning Head to reduce your leadership. Gotta add a good magic. I need a final transmutation or something. You know, props to CA for this quest battle being actually decently difficult. It's still not the best situation because I came into this fight with like a bunch of marauders, but you know, it's kind of close. Kind of close. I did have a bunch of regiments of renown. It's not like the battle was just me completely rolling over my opponent. Nice. We did it. We beat ourselves. And I have like no units left. Hopefully Vulmar does not attack me. 100k, choose my faction for the next tournament. Oh boy. I'll need to look into channel point logistics and how many points one can reasonably get. If it takes a year to get 100,000 channel points, then you guys would barely be able to set my faction at all. I don't know. I'll have to balance it out. It's a lot of work though, and I still have to edit. Dude, honestly, I've been feeling a little whelmed. Not because of time pressure, but just because of the number of things I want to get done. I gotta do editing. I want to get back into YouTube shorts at some point. I want to like do a bunch of streams and such. I have been looking into hiring people to help me edit. I do think that could actually ramp up the channel super hard. It's just the cost would be a bit much.
Gaze upon me.
But hey, if it helps the channel grow a tremendous amount, it's pretty worth it. And actually, a lot of creators, generally speaking, they say that an editor they're the best place to spend your money. If you're going to spend money on your channel, getting a proper editor is typically the way to go. XCOM streams were legendary. Dude, XCOM streams were really fun. I wish I could play multiple games, but that's not really how YouTube works unless you have a channel designed around it. There's the doggos again. It's okay, I think they're passing by. Don't forget to change Cairo spells. Ah, yes. Is there something better than Infernal Gateway, though? So dang, Vulmar did not attack. Hey, it's Chain Lightning. I honestly want to spell cheaper than Infernal Gateway. Oh, I was just talking about Final Transmutation. Well, there you go. That solves many an issue. Level 30 is when I get the Golden Griffin. Hey, that's like the Jade Griffin from good old Vulmar. Unfortunately, we cannot attack that. It's okay. I'll just keep recruiting my marauders. We've reached an interesting position where Vulmar can potentially bring the steel chair down on my face. I have a million money, but I cannot convert it into units just yet. Redeem for 1v1 Bar versus Turin. Yeah, Turin actually is plays a lot of different games. It's quite That's quite cool to see. Ah, hell yeah, this is a proper army. All right. So now we get to see the true strength of Kairos' spell spam. He's not fully amped up, so this could be interesting. It could just be a Burning Head Massacre, though. Kairos does have that spell amp. So his Burning Head will actually... It'll be what, like 75% of the power of pre-nerf Burning Head? Anyone remember pre-nerf Burning Head, by the way? It would one-shot like most infantry. Pre-nerf Burning Head was actually insanely busted. They actually like halved its damage from the good old days. All right, nice. So I have infinity winds of magic. We can just melt this guy's face off with the final transmutation. Use Kairos for the artillery pieces. That's less important. And yeah, I'm just gonna chuck out magic like no one's business. I think artillery piece is kind of holding though. What's my spell amplification? 34%. Pretty nice. Fortunately, Kairos cannot hit the mortar crews for the life of them. I have a plan B though. Kill the Lord. And then once he's dead, then the artillery crews will rout. Oh my gosh, Kairos is so bad at fighting. It's perfect for the Lord though. Oh hell yeah, we'll get the friendly fire to do it. Amazing. Oh, and there's Vulmar too. Very nice. That's a lot of dudes. A lot of Empire forces that we gotta fight. It's the only way I can feel anything here. Now we're pretty blobbed up here. What I'm thinking is we'll grab the range units and de-blob them, and I'll just keep them in reserve to deal with these outriders. Outriders are the main issue here. Other than them, it's pretty chill. Yeah, I'll just keep these guys to the side. Can I get a charge kill on this guy? Kairos technically has the damage to kill this guy if he can actually hit him. Come on, Kairos. Yeah. Ah, oh, he did it. Kairos actually got a kill with melee. Showing that he is truly a lord. A terrifying lord. Alright, let's see. Can I use Aeson the Fallen on these guys? If they blob up, we definitely can. Got a little bit of a mobile squad here too we can have fun with. But yeah, first things first, we just gotta blitz these guys to death. Honestly, the infantry here are gonna be very lackluster. I don't see them doing very much. Aeson the Fallen is just going to, I guess, just kill off these Empire Knights. Aeson has a really sick ability, which is basically like a mini Buna. It's like half of a Buna on units, and it spreads. All right, let's take a look at this spell amped Burning Head. Oh yeah, that feels like old Burning Head right there. That definitely feels like old Burning Head. Anyone know if final transmutation will do anything here? It should be pretty decent actually. Even though it's versus infantry, it's still gonna do you know, a couple thousand damage if we're overcasting. And yeah, it's gonna melt their heroes. Very nice. Looking pretty good. Doesn't look like Vulmar is holding up too well. I did overextend with a couple blues though, but they are quite low priority. And then all I gotta do is take Altdorf and then get a proper Doom stack going, and then we can call this campaign done. I think the moment we get Altdorf, it's pretty over. I'm kind of focusing Kairos quite a bit, by the way. Oh, dang, they're really focusing Kairos. They do not like him. Let's get another Burning Head down the pipe. Couple wagons, I guess. They can just eat a net. Aeson's doing great. Honestly, I think it's just the Empire Knights I gotta worry about the most. So, a couple Searing Dooms should get that job done. Wind Blast is amped to 34 damage. That should kill half of the HP of these entities here. And then I think one more final transmutation overcast on this little squad of guys, and they're done for. Just delete that poor Empire captain. Aeson has some damage too. It's all about just casting your abilities. Whoop. Dodge with the Kairos. Kairos is indestructible in multiplayer. I should be able to keep him alive in single player. Okay, there we go. And I think one more Burning Hand and we're good. Honestly, the Empire army kind of got worked down by Kairos. He has... I forgot that he has all the passives. But yeah, Kairos got about 7,000 gold worth of value. That's basically equivalent to killing off an entire army on his own. Just Kairos things. And yeah, if I just keep spamming spells, we just keep this madness up, right? How's my magic reserve doing? It's actually draining at a decent pace. Like I said, we're not at our full late game potential here. Just started a mask campaign and you actually love it. The mask is, I would say, a very fun short campaign. At least in from my experience. I had a lot of fun playing the mask, kind of just like speed running it basically, where you're super incentivized to just fight battles super aggressively as much as possible, because you have a mechanic that scales so well off of winning battles. And then kind of once you unlock all the dances, then usually by then I'm pretty satisfied. But if you haven't done a lot of campaigns, I think it can be quite fun just kind of romping around with all your sick dances and your powerful armies. Yeah, mask blitzkrieg campaigns for sure. I think one more final transmutation on this guy would be great. I don't think I need to overcast it. Kairos sitting at 700 kills currently. Very nice. And I guess I could Uranins the artillery pieces. Yo, I wish Uranins was better versus artillery. If it cast slightly faster so that it could not be dodged, it would be so perfect. But then people would start using it for infantry. I wonder, how could you make... Because the thing is, artillery is actually about infantry speed. So, I don't know. Maybe you could make the explosion super small. That could do it. It'd be a fun rebalance of Uranins. So, super small explosion. But it casts very quickly, and it's used specifically just to snipe artillery. Some people are already using it in multiplayer to kill off hell cannons. But technically at higher levels you can just dodge it. So I don't think it's in the best spot it could be just yet. Also, dang, victory. Very nice. Kairos and some regiments of renown is indeed good enough to annihilate an empire army. There goes Vulmar. Very nice. Yeah, I don't even really need a doom stack to beat these guys just yet. Of course, it's still very early in the campaign. But yeah, the regiment of renown power scaling is so good. Just cancel it when they dodge. If you could cancel at the very last second, it would be so jokes, because you would just constantly reset the spell until eventually they choose not to dodge. If they're dodging constantly, they're not shooting, which is important. And then you get mega value. Also, dang, Kairos killed off like 40%. He got 40% of the kills. Pretty nice. Did lose the Doom Knights, but they'll be back soon enough. Nice. And they attack again, only to lose everything. Altdorf will be mine, people. I just need to capture it at tier 4 so I have a tier 3 settlement. Best way to beat the AI cheats is to abuse it. Let them use their cheats to get super growth and then steal the settlement. Love that I'm doing more campaign. Huge fan of my stuff. Thank you. Sorry I missed your message earlier. We were kind of focusing on the battle at hand. But yeah, I now that I actually have a bit more free time, I really wanted to get back into doing different types of content and the like. Okay, so this is tier 3 currently. If I capture this, okay, like if I just auto resolve this and just occupy, is it tier 3 or tier 2? It's tier 2. Oh, that's such a ripoff, bro. That's such a ripoff. All right. At this point, though, I think it's pretty clear that we have essentially achieved victory here. So the way one would typically finish a campaign like this, once you get super scaled up, is you use this bank. So obviously I am made out of money right now, right? So you get another lord and then you just start recruiting full stacks. Obviously I would much rather this be like Forsaken or something, but pinks will do for now. And then you have so much money you can sustain the lords for a while. They just kind of fan out, take as much territory as possible, and you're good. It's a lot of dead heroes, yeah. We kind of just annihilated Vulmar. But yeah, I think if I add some extra measures to slow me down in a random start position campaign, I think this could be really interesting. I do have a mod being worked on where it is going to be all units have, you know when Greasus was bugged and he was zooming around? Basically that, but all units except for mine. I am very much so looking forward to playing this mod, and we'll probably do a random start position too, just to make things a little bit more interesting. Yeah, of course, playing a faction that relies on the start position will make it tougher. I was wondering if it'd be worse for Kairos, because you're a demon, you'll be surrounded by people, and you don't get your kind of starting island. But it actually helped us because we get so many fights. But yeah, everybody will have zooming Greasus. In fact, actually, as a little thing for you guys, for sticking around towards the end of the stream, I'll actually show off what the mod looks like. Yeah, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of what's in the works. Currently, I think everything works pretty well. The only thing that I need to adjust is the fact that it should only be hitting. Oh, jeez, that blob. But yeah, it should only be hitting enemy units, not mine. I think as soon as we get that fixed, then all will be good to go. What I might do as a quick fix is just make it where it's like all factions but Slaanesh, and then I think we're good. And I'm picking Slaanesh specifically because, oh crap, get in there. Whiffed it. But yeah, do it like it's all factions except for Slaanesh. And that way it's jokes, because Slaanesh becomes the slowest faction. Does it affect charge bonus? No, but speed does affect impact damage. So cavalry charges on my infantry should actually just be a complete game ender for me. Nice. Glorious. Oh. Alright. Start spamming spells on the approach. I'm sure Aeson the Fallen can kill the Fey Enchantress. She is not that terrifying. Here we go. Get another wind blast. Oh, Fey Enchantress is dead. Hell yeah. Well, then if I do this, army losses? Not quite. Apparently the balance of power is pretty decent on these guys. I would Final Transmutation, but it's actually not worth. Wind blast, just better here. Now that they're blobbed, I guess it can maybe finish them off though. Really? No army losses? Oh, it must be these knights. Oh, they have a Grail Guardian. No wonder. You do have to lose, what was it? Like 60% of your army before army losses kicks in. The Grail Knights make up more than 60% of their army. Literally, this army, I could kill everything but the Grail Knights, and I don't think army losses would actually trigger. It would be close, but there's so much. Actually, I guess with the Fey Enchantress, that would skew it. But yeah. Yeah, the classic AI reforming blob. I wonder if CA will tune up the AI before the end of Warhammer 3. My gut tells me no. It seems like something that if they wanted to fix it, they would have started working on it way sooner. What's legendary randomized each? We're playing on legendary, and the start position is randomized. That's it. We usually do more difficult campaigns, but I'm taking it easy today. But nice. Yeah, I think Kairos has achieved immortality now. There is nothing that can actually contest this army, and we just got replenishment rate. So yeah, like the way to mop the campaign is just like secure the empire, spend the money, get a bunch of armies, and then yep, basically good to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show off this mod that's being worked on. It's being worked on by Trizik, moderator and modder in my chat. And they are going to get it on the Steam Workshop eventually when they actually get it to work. But I want you guys to see this. Unit 5x speed mod. It's crazy, man. I think if I don't have the 5x speed, like, it might actually be extremely difficult because a lot of the cheeses only work because the AI is slow. As soon as you give them speed, you can't really do the usual shenanigans. Now, in this case, it also affects me. It shouldn't affect me. But yeah, take a look. Yeah, the double moderator. So this is what we're going to be doing as soon as the mod is complete. I want you guys to look at the speed of these zombies. So as you can see, my speed is 1x speed right now. And when they reform, it's kind of sus. That's because the zombies have 500 speed. So it's a little scary. Now in this case, I also have 500 speed. So my cavalry is just insanely fast, but everyone's insanely fast. You can see the impact damage, by the way, is super high for cavalry. They just delete. They just delete infantry. So obviously mass is going to be super important. Because the moment the AI takes cavalry against me and I don't have speed like this, we just die. I think it'll be very interesting. Yeah, those zombies, they're way fast. So if the enemy's moving at this speed and I'm moving at normal speed, I could see this being quite challenging. I could even play dwarves with this mod and see how it goes, but then I'm pretty sure I would just Slayer stack it. But yeah, the AI, if they ever want to disengage, it's way better too. It's pretty fun. Everything looks like Cav. Essentially. But yeah, and this is what happens if I hit X4. Just everything's zooming, man. So yeah, I look forward to this challenge. It will actually be quite the difficult challenge. Definitely gonna need to blob it up a lot, and I think I'll be playing as Slanesh because they have the least ability to dodge or to blob. Fast Vlad, yeah. Vlad can keep pace with my cavalry. What does he look like? Look at him go, dude. It's just walking animation. Oh man, it's like Vlad on a light jog, but he's just zooming. It actually looks like it's X4 speed, but it's not.
Our dogs continue.
I can't disengage from him. Oh man, this will be fun. This will be fun soon enough. Keep an eye out for the campaign streams, people. But for now, I'm gonna peace out. It was a great stream, fun little Zinch action. Hope you guys had a great day. And of course, thank you to all of our supporters. Michael Phillip, Miss New Booty, Clint, Kakulandia, Benjo, Obese Chicken, Pisano the Duck, Naldor, and Ogendorner. You guys are great. And I'll see you guys next time.